Hello everyone. This video is going to be a compilation of the last 3 months as my life has been pretty hectic since the beginning of the year, but hopefully this will give you a little bit of an update of what I've been up to. By the time January hit, I was nearing the end of winter break. I had been riding very regularly throughout December, like actually getting in the 2 days a week that I'm supposed to be getting with my lease, and it was great. And I was feeling really good, and I felt like I was making a decent amount of progress. I was jumping a lot more, and I was feeling a lot more comfortable over fences. And so when the beginning of the year rolled around, I was thinking about actually going and measuring the fences because previously I hadn't done that. I was just setting jumps and kind of estimating how high they were. And in my mind, like I didn't think I had gone that much over 2 foot. I think there was maybe one time where I had looked at a fence and felt like it was around 2, 3. But for the most part, I thought that I was still sticking within that cross rails 18 inches, 2 foot range. So when I actually measured the fences, I was a little bit surprised to see that I'd actually been hopping around at 2, 3 to 2, 6, and I was feeling really comfortable with it, and I didn't really have any fear or hesitation going into the fences, and I was a little bit surprised, but I think it gave me a lot more confidence moving forward, and it made me feel a little bit better about my overall skill set when it comes to going over fences.
So I know I probably haven't mentioned this earlier, but part of my barn is a petting zoo. What? You meet me halfway? Yeah. Yeah, it's a girl. So I have 4 fences for today, but one's not up right now. So that one I believe is about 2, 3, maybe 2, 6. And then warm-up fence. I'll set this one up to an oxer, but right now I'm using the poles for my pole work. And then I took the shovel bar down to use main oxer. It's like 2, 3 in the center. Like 2, 6 in the center.
So unfortunately, these clips are so old that I can't really remember what happened during these rides. I think the only thing that I can really remember from this one is going over the white oxer and feeling really great about it and then not getting it on tape. But, that's okay. As long as I have the memory for myself, then, it felt good to me. So I can definitely feel pretty happy about that. So just by looking at this video, it looks like I was mixing up my usual pole work and adding in some transitions. I do a decent amount of transitions with Lucy just because I want to make her more responsive to my leg. She is a very lazy horse and she is always behind my leg. So the transitions definitely help with getting her more forward and more responsive. I do still carry a whip when I ride, but I don't really use it all that much anymore. It's really just there, just in case. The other girl who rides her now is using a spur, and my trainer actually recommended that I just, get a spur because the issue that I'm having now is that even though she's forward off the leg, the left and right definitely needs some work. So I'm probably going to be integrating in some lateral work to get her to move left or right. I think it's also definitely on me to actually ask her to do those things because I don't ask her enough. And of course, my right leg is still not as flexible, not as powerful as I would like it to be. So that's a whole other issue that I'll definitely be tackling more this month moving forward, especially now that we are quarantined and I have all this time to just do things. Um, Actually, no, I don't have time to do things. I just hate sitting in my house. It's so annoying. I'm so sad. I hate it. But anyways, you can see that I was having some trouble here, like really getting her to relax and pick up the correct lead at the canter. I mean, I can't look at this and know 100% why, especially since I don't remember this ride. But she doesn't quite look as relaxed as I would normally want her to be. Her legs are moving kind of fast, but she is looking relatively soft in my hands. She is moving forward, so it could just be something to focus on in the moment with a couple small adjustments. One other thing that I started being more conscious of after my last lesson with my trainer was that I do not stay straight. I don't really ask her to stay straight when we're backing up or when we're just walking around, and I think that might also help with getting her actually more responsive to the left and the right with my leg, instead of just kind of letting her wander or just focusing on one aspect of the backup or of the walk and forgetting the straightness part of it. So as I said before, I unfortunately did not get all of my jumping on tape for this ride, but I did get myself going over this crossrail a couple of times, and let me tell you, it is cringy. This was also, it wasn't my first time seriously jumping her, but it was my first time shortening my stirrups because every time I was looking at pictures, it felt like I was like reaching with my leg to get my foot down to the stirrup. So I thought, oh, I'll just shorten the stirrups, see if that helps. No, oh my God, these look so bad. And I actually do remember it not feeling that great. Like I literally felt like I could not keep myself in the saddle. And if you pay attention closely, you can see that I am definitely jumping like way ahead with my body because I was really trying to compensate for not feeling like I had any kind of leg whatsoever under me. But yeah, we're just not going to shorten my stirrups anymore.
Good girl. Not like that. Good girl. Whoa.
Something I've also been doing more often is lunging her as well. I've been told that she knows how to lunge, and she kind of does, but the downward transitions, like, there's really no cue. Like, she does not understand it very well at all. So I'm just kind of doing what I can with that, but it's one way to help me better understand her and better understand how she moves and how she relaxes and how she likes to go. So I remember when I lunged her this day, it took a little bit to actually get her to settle down and go and trot around like this. You can see in that first clip of trotting, she was just like head in the air, like legs moving super fast, not really focused, paying attention, like no real thought about trying to move correctly at all. Her canter is also really not that great when I lunge her. It's more of a short gallop, and it's definitely much worse to the right than the left. And I've actually noticed that under saddle now, I thought that it was maybe just, my right leg not really being able to support her, but I think it's definitely that we both have the weaker right side, and that obviously, creates other issues. But I think it also puts a lot more pressure on me to pay attention to what I'm doing and really focus on my fitness so that, she's not running all over the place every time we go to the right.
You're so cute.
So it is well into February, but I need to close out my January video, so here I am. I didn't write all that much this month because I actually started a design competition for the first 2 weeks of the semester, and it was really intensive, so I could not get to the barn at all. Like, there was no time. But that's over. We spent the last like 2 weeks recovering, and I'm actually about to go have my very first ride for the month of February. But there's one more thing that I wanted to talk about in this month's video, and that is addressing how to work through fear and how to work through anxiety. That was one of the goals that I kind of added midway that I thought of as I was looking at some of the horse show goals, and it was more geared towards wanting to work through being scared and nervous at horse shows. But it kind of hit me again as I was measuring the fences, because at first I had just been jumping and I hadn't really been measuring anything. I would just put it up and say, okay, that looks fine for today, and I was working my way up slowly. But once I measured it and realized, like, oh shit, I've been jumping like 2.3, 2.6, I got a little bit nervous. And I know like it seems kind of silly because I was looking at it and going over it and thinking that it was nothing and that it was so small. But once I attached the number to it, all of a sudden all that fear and all that anxiety just like came back. And of course, like, I know that all of that is like mental. I know that like the fear side, it's like it's all in my head, but it's still very real. Like, and it's still something that, you know, I struggled a lot in the past to get over and get through. I did jump the triple bar, but I brought down one of the poles. And that I know that for a fact was at 2.6, I think, or 2.3 in the center. I don't remember. Yeah, I know for a fact that it was, but I don't remember. Cool. But it was substantial, and I got over it. I felt fine. So I don't know. It's just weird. It's something. It's just weird.
Again, this is another ride where whatever I was doing will remain a mystery to me. I see a box, and that makes me think of when I first started riding and we had to stop in the box as an exercise. It was like a trail thing that we would do. So maybe I did some of that. Maybe that's what I was thinking. Maybe that was the goal and it wasn't achieved. I have no idea. Couldn't tell you. That being said, one of the other aspects of really me trying to understand her more has to do with what I do before and after the rides. So I haven't been putting as much of an emphasis on two-pointing at the start of my rides, which I think I should definitely bring back. But earlier in this month, we had actually started doing more trails, and I've been really like making a point to take her out to get that walk in. And that's a big thing, because she's so stiff behind, is that it's much better for me to spend time at the walk, spend time letting her just kind of mosey on a little bit, because it really helps her loosen up, and I get much better work out of her if I do it that way. So I've been integrating in some short trail rides just up the street at the walk at the start of our rides, because it just gets her that little bit more, schwung, as the Germans call it. I just get a better ride out of her, and I get a better gait, and she is much more relaxed. I don't have to nag her. I don't have to do any of that. So I really prefer to do that at the start of my rides, because it just gives us a better ride overall.
She just gave the most half-assed roll, which is really funny because usually she goes all in after rides. Hey, what's up? So she Hey. Yeah, what's up? She was actually pretty good today. She was like really forward right at the bat. Not on that side. Nope, it's not how it works. Nope. She was really forward right off the bat, which was nice. Um, and then, like, had some really good cater transitions, some really good pole work. She was not as relaxed as usual, but like, she was actually listening really well considering. So, not mad. Good girl. Good girl.
So this just about wraps up where I've been with Miss Lucy. You can see here on this day lunging that she was much better. She came out with a much nicer, more relaxed gait, although she could be tracking up more. But still happy with, much happier with how she was going this day and much happier with how she was responding. In addition to adding in the longer walks at the beginning of our rides, I've also been untacking her in the arena after I cool her off and letting her both roll and just walk around for a little bit while I put all my things away. It is a pretty small facility, so she doesn't get a whole lot of turnout, so I try to maximize that and make sure that she can enjoy her time outside. We also did get new dirt in the arena. This is before it was all spread, but as you can see, she is having a great time. She really loves dirt. She loves rolling. That's why she rolls on her pee all the time. But yeah, it was kind of nice to literally just see her be her dumb, silly, insane self. And just having fun literally with mounds of dirt. But that's who she is. She's a very weird horse, and I honestly would not have her any other way.